Hello and welcome to Nationalsocialism. Today I have to you really a creepy goodnight story. You might not think when you probably think that in our modern world today things like this would maybe not happen, or our politicals who seem to be so honest and our incumbents never would do things like that. Especially the more poor people often have despite a view on our system because they are facing every day that life can be very unfair. And what I tell you now is really a true story. It is not invented. And when you might see on interviews or on news how our politicians proceed in mourning on Holocaust and try to prevent an equal event in history, or honor to the victims with flowers and speeches. It is a wonder why things like that happen, or why generally anybody still is having a problem in Germany with the theme like that. It is a blush, but behind there's nothing. You get a lot of hope until you die. But all the efforts of an individual who is remaining peacefully or applying peacefully is a whole. You can give your whole life in, and it is a very critical aspect and a very mourning thing that without weapons and without war and hard force, the Nazi descendants who killed hills of humans and proceed officially in Germany that killing a human is a hard crime, deny everything, and harvest the pursuit of equality in Germany, and they defeat Holocaust justices in a way. It is a big crime, you would not think, and definitely important is to face and to be able to realize with who you are speaking when you're speaking to a Nazi descendant. Not to forget that we are not all equal, and the access to hard chemicals can change your life. It can affect you in getting cancer, and it can affect you in being unfertilizable. It can affect you to become ill and even that you die. In the range of Zyklon B, it affected many people up to date, and in Germany completely ignored and sacrificed is that Zyklon B even changed generations. The access to the nerve system of a human offended the genes forever. Statistics about Germans in other cases of the world are horrible, but denied by the German government, who says behind our frontier we are here. It is our country, whatever we are. Sometimes it's no problem, but in some cases it is still and ongoing life-threatening to others. So I tell you now something about the justice enrollment and how much the Germans, who seems to be so civilized and so orderly in proceeding the international respected human rights, definitely would need authorities to be guided to enroll their victims over themselves. So when I grew up, everything was despite normal, and from a certain point on, let it be the date of my birth, I became adopted to a family that was not really my family. something that occurs maybe a few times in Germany, and it is not so often. Maybe I'm not really not the single case, but it is a salary thing. And in my case, it is really something that shows a lot of disrespect and something you might not think. It is not about humans in a big need, um, but in a big guilty to stay where they are on the top of a mountain of killed victims of killing economy. So, in my right to receive a lot, I became humiliated and denied. And with a child, I think it is something happens everywhere in the world that abandoned children become victim of system and even social access to their private and to their wealth, then receiving a less without any bills or even nothing when they become adults. Like having never ever ancestors, history, a source, a family. This has happened in my case too. I was adopted for economical reasons, but not to a true family. I was adopted to a patchwork family for economic reasons. And the economic value on me was that I become paid. The payment the family received was on one side the advantage to be donated to the doubt system of Holocaust compensations. That means that I became adopted by Nazi descendants who usually would need to pay Holocaust compensation, but by the government, the doubts were removed for adopting me and treating me very bad. To humiliate my rights, a deal, an absolutely nightmare. It is not only one case, and I think in every country it appears as children whose parents are killed or died become victim of adults. And in my case, I grew up in a family whose business had been in the Holocaust to remove the gold of the pipelines and the pipelines of the houses. And for that, they did awful crimes too, that they intoxicated the houses of Jewish people with chlor. The people even died in the houses, but they lost all the gold from the body in their urine, which the company collected from the pipelines. They killed the humans for giving their gold by an intoxication of chlor to the pipelines. A dirty business. For that, this family should use to pay, like, still then, when they adopted me, 60,000 DM. That part of the killing economy to kill humans in the houses with chlor maybe became removed in many people's imagination, but it was definitely a part of the killing economy because the people really died, and afterwards they broke into the houses and removed the pipelines of the houses. They sold the metal, and before they sold the metal, they removed the gold out of the pipelines. So you could say in every house Jews had lived, and you found the houses and the walls broken without pipelines. It is a part of the Holocaust history. Many people don't know. And later, to use the houses and even to remove the history, many houses had been recovered. But at first, as tribunals were judging the Holocaust crimes and troops entered the cities, maybe afterwards bombs had destroyed many houses with removed citizens to KZ, had broken walls and removed pipelines. And in this family, they gave to me. On economic value, on an amount of 60,000 DM and my own money. It was an awful childhood, and not even that family, that Nazi descendants, were the most awful living attendants in my surrounding. It became more awful. That had only been the half of my family. What the German government did is really shocking, and I think it is reflecting the true ambition and the true um, honor of German politicians to excuse and to compensate something that you only maybe can compensate when you really dearly do. And the money aspect is one thing, but to make maybe people more happy and really pretend criminality like that. But no will, no honest proceedings. And this is something, I definitely want to show on my YouTube channel that it is necessary to open the eyes and realize, even to survive. And to live in a patchwork family like that is really something you don't want to make the experience. And through my childhood, I definitely would say I had experiences you cannot imagine. It is very disappointing, very disappointing. And you really need to know that not every adult is like that not every family is having criminal wisdoms like that. You really need to know. And this had been the half of my family, and the other half I would always like to have a true documentation and explanation, not by the German government, but maybe even by the EU tribunals, how something like that can happen. I think totally lost, and maybe you need to go around the world to know that it never ever would have happened anywhere else, something like that. You cannot imagine. And it's really a true story. You cannot imagine. So I became, because of my right to receive a recovery of wealth, because of my ancestors, in state of being something like abundant child. I needed to be adopted by absolutely horror family, by absolutely horror family. And my direct parents in that patchwork family to do a fake documentation to remove a bill which is very, very high. They gave me patchwork parents in free sentence jail. So the German government engaged persons from life sentence to act like my parents for 3 sentence jail, and they gave me really for something like helpless abandoned child to a patchwork couple which never had been a true marriage, never had been my parents, and that had been my direct fake parents, a serial killer, and a DDR crime. It is absolutely shocking, and all this happened up to 1985, and I would say it's the world we live today. It is not 100 years ago, and the politicians who were organizing that to remove the big bill still live. They were working 10 years ago. And if you would say today that everything is good and we live in a peaceful together, that German Nazi descendants respect Jewish people or the other racial groups of Holocaust, then be aware, because the next could be you. And not to forget, when you think, oh, that makes not sense and it would not be able, they did much more, like organizing an economic blob with thousands of Turkish people coming to Germany, working, giving an economy tax value to the generation of hardcore crimes, to pay a bill that is killing to our generation in a way which is without any responsibility. And yeah, that is really something you maybe cannot imagine, but the Neanderthaler, anyhow, he need to come to regions with frost ice from Africa. Others survived hardcore wars, and that is what I survived. A childhood in a night murder scene with awful crimes, who became organized to be a patchwork family, to remove a Holocaust justice, a huge bill from German government. Some might not imagine it could be true, but others really need maybe to know, and I think it is unforgivable, because to live on killing economy means that you never worked really, but you every day could start. Every day you have the chance to make decision of you maybe work something producive or you help others and you can live on it. Others maybe can do nothing and they don't kill each other. Maybe they die on hunger back on back, but they would not do. And that is for those so maybe unimaginable that other humans would do something like that, and maybe then it's just too late. This is one reason why I do my videos, to show how hard the reality you need to face really is, because you cannot imagine when you are a good human. You cannot imagine. Others maybe grew up like me and you never had a reality to trust. You cannot imagine. Thousands of children are traumatized, and maybe you cannot imagine how others could be. This is one topic I want to show to others in my YouTube channel. And yeah, if you meet Germans, yeah, who have maybe a very respectable life, be aware, be aware, because the half of it could be estimated on killing economy, and you could be up to date the next. It's very important to realize that.